POS show yo. Show yo. Show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo. Show yo. Show yo.
Yeah, dancing. Hello, Kish. How are you, sir? Happy hump day to everybody out there who humps. And if you don't believe in humping, don't worry. Happy Wednesday. We can do both. It's like Christmas and happy holidays.
I do believe in humping, and I am curious, Pat. How has no one called Kamala the Camel yet? Like, given her that nickname, because she does love to hump.
Is it Kamala or is it Kamala?
I don't know. I still say Obama.
No, I mean, I've heard that they say that Trump's saying it wrong, but I always remembered it being no, I can't say it. Kamala, like
Kamala.
But
yeah,
to me, Kamala is the wrestling guy from the '80s when I was growing up. Kamala, the Ugandan headhunter. So I always just thought of that guy. But he had stars and moons painted on his belly, and he pretended he was African. He was really like a professor or somewhere. I don't know. But Kamala, I've heard too. But Kamala sounds like Camelot, and that's just like, I don't know. She's not. She wouldn't be accepted in those times.
I think Kamala or Kamala. However it is, and this is specific to her. This isn't representative of an entire group, but the beauty of her name for her is that however Trump pronounces it, she's going to say is wrong. I remember on my grandfather's 79th birthday, he pulled us all in and was like, this is how the last name's really pronounced. And we all just went, nah. Like he tried.
It's POS with Pat and Bobby. Nah. Is that what he said?
That would have been fun, but we went, no, we're not going to do, like, you've lived 79 years saying it a different way. We're not going to go back to the Italian pronunciation now, you demented lover.
I think I've told this on here, but when I was first working at Joker's Wild, and I was just running it, and we were doing an open mic, we had this guy show up, and his name was Ed, and he was like kind of touched. I wouldn't say special needs, but close. And he kind of played into it. He was like, and he'd do this weird voice and do voices that didn't work and all this shit. And his last name was Seward. So I brought him up as Ed Seward. It looked like Seward, whatever. We'd all make jokes. People thought it was a character. Sometimes they're like, no, it's not. The guy's fucked up. Whatever's going on. We don't know what's going on with him. And for a year, every week, like, here comes the comedy stylings of Ed Seward. And he'd be like, you want to hear an impression of Stewie from the Family Guy? And then he'd just be like, I'm Stewie from the Family. Like, it was not even close. They'd sing some weird song. They'd talk about a short one. It was weird every week for that. And then like a year goes by and he goes on, I bring him up and he goes, hey, Pat. I go, yeah, Ed. He goes, two things. One, it's my 1 year anniversary of performing here. And I go, good for you, Ed. He goes, and two, it's Seward. I go, what? And he goes, it's pronounced Seward. I go, too fucking late, bro. You're Ed Seward. He goes, okay. And that was it.
That's amazing. We had Kelsey.
He's still been Ed Seward to this day. He shows up at Frank Springer's and stuff, and he's always Ed Seward. This has been like over 10 years now.
Well, I'm glad Ed Seward's still at it.
Because everyone thought it was like a dirty name. Like young guys thought it was Ed C-word. Like they were saying like N-word. Like they thought he was like, oh, this guy's so edgy. He's Ed C-word. Which is even a crazier last name.
Is there a black comedian called Edward the N-word? Because if not.
I bet you there is, but I bet you he's not good.
I mean, the name alone, it's setting you up for a high stakes failure. That's my issue with nicknames. If you go in and you're like, Pat the Chuckle Getter Oates, now you have to get Chuckles.
Well, first of all, you're supposed to get Chuckles. Second of all, I think that with that name, you're fine if they don't.
No. I mean, you would be
I think it's funnier that they bomb.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the greatest nicknames of all times, and someone needs that, but they're allowed to bomb. The Chuckle Getter.
I will text Ray Catolo that needs to be his new nickname.
Like Goofball Jenkins or something. Like, you got to be silly. You can't be serious if you're Goofball Jenkins.
The black ripoff.
Yeah.
That's the Chuckle Getter is the. Anyway, how are you, man?
Yo, man, it's me. I'm wild as fucking Goofball Jenkins. Waka waka. Burp, burp, burp. White people be talking like this. I'm white. Hey.
He just says black things, but in a white voice. I would love
that.
Yeah.
He's like, get away from me, black guy. I'm doing well. I
White
hit two
people be
open
like,
mics.
"Oh my god, are you Chuckle Getter?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm the black version, bitch." Sorry, go ahead. You're doing open
There's a
mic.
comic before I get into what I was gonna say. It reminded me. There's a comic I like in Connecticut. He's a younger guy. His name is Vernon Spacely. Black guy, real funny, thinks smart. Is newer to it. Is getting ideas, but you can tell there's gonna be something there. And I like him as a guy. We chat sometimes. And he was working on some bit yesterday, and we are both about to leave at the same time, but. He goes. It's open mic, but it's like it's a kind of supportive one. There's like 15 comedians there. It's weird because it's all like basically all white comics, and then in this Jamaican restaurant in like New Haven where you can get like jerk chicken wings, and everyone that cooks there and works there is Jamaican as fuck, and all the clientele normally is. But at Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, right around 6:30. All the black people leave, and then 15 white people and like 2 black open mic comics come in. We hang out for a little bit. The black guys start to come in around like 9 when it's over, but it's fun. Whatever. Everyone's supportive. He gets even the comics like laugh and pay attention and shit, so it's not bad. But Vernon goes up there, and they're mostly white, and he goes up and he says 1 or 2 jokes, and then he stops and he goes, "Yo, man, how come white people never move for black people?" And he's like, everyone's like, "Wait, what?" And you could hear white people going, I move." And he's like, "Nah, man, you're very disrespectful. Like, we always moving out of your way, but you're just like acting like we're not there. Like, what the fuck's up with that?" He's like, "You don't know who we are. Don't fucking act like you know." And everyone got uncomfortable. And then he sits in it for a second and goes, "So you ever do gay shit for pussy?" Dude, I was crying because everyone was so uncomfortable. Then just laughing about. We were outside like, dude, I don't know if you're doing that on purpose, but keep those 2 jokes together. I liked how uncomfortable white people were. Like, we fuck you, because all you heard was, I was going for that. Because I need a punchline, obviously, but I just like the fact they're all like, "I swear to God." He goes, after shows now, people walk up to him and be like, I hold doors for black people. They start telling him what they do for black people with all their guilt. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a better use of the race card move than him just doing that on stage. I really enjoy it. But
I gotta critique him just a slight bit and say that I move all the time. Like if there's one walking down the street towards me, I'll cross and go to the other side quick.
he throws that line
No,
in.
I was just making a joke. Yeah, I was.
No. But as the joke, he did that too. He goes, "You're not moving, you're running," or it was something like that. Like there's a difference. You're not moving for us. You're moving away from us. He had something, but I just like the uncomfortability that was there. But speaking of uncomfortability, this will be our first piece of shit story right away. So I think I've mentioned this before on the show. I'm pretty sure I did. Probably about a couple months ago. When I still had that show at one place in Derby called Riverwalk Social, and they closed. But I had a kid on the show, younger guy. He does like props and weird shit, and he had asked if he could like play porn on his phone for people, and then it was gonna be like Kung Fu Panda. He said it was gonna be that he'd be porn. I'm like, and obviously I said, yeah, whatever, man. But like I obviously was saying it like very sarcastic. Like, in other words, you could feel that I meant like no, and also just running around. I got a venue and whatever. But he did it, and it was fucking uncomfortable. And then people were like, "What the fuck?" And the owner's like, "What the fuck?" So when I saw the guy at a mic like a week later, I talked about this on there. I went on stage and I kind of made fun of him for doing that, but I kind of like did it so he kind of get it. Since then, this kid has been kind of weirdly trying to troll me, but kind of in person, but away. Like to my face, he won't do shit, but like he'll go online and be like, if I post something, he'll write underneath like, but not like on my own post, like in a Connecticut comedy post like that. If I write something, he'll be like, "Is Pat going to show porn on his phone like he always does?" His running joke is that I'm the one that shows the porn. And it was never funny, but for 1 second, I kind of got what he was doing. But then I'd start be at Mike's, I'd see it when I'm walking away, I'd hear him say like, "Oh, I bet you Pat's going to show porn on his phone." Like he wouldn't stop saying it to other people. He's just this scrawny little weirdo guy. And I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like, after a while, it's just like, what are we doing? And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to a mic tonight. I have a feeling he's going to be there. And if he is, I won't say a word, but if he says one thing, sometimes some of these young comics really need to know you can get punched in the fucking mouth. And I don't think a lot of them know that. Because I think, especially in this day and age, when you're like 20-something years old and you're like, oh, like, we're just jokes, we're just whatever. And there are these fucking losers who think they can be bullies because everyone just all let it go because they're this or that. You always hear that when there's a guy always being a fucking dork. Somebody, usually a girl, because the guy's smart enough to go to females and be like, hey, when I was just 16 years old, I used to cut my wrists or something gay. And then and everyone's like, oh, you can't, he just is misunderstood and he almost killed himself once. Like, wow. So, like, I'm at the mic and I'm standing outside, I'm talking to people, and I hear him walk by me. I say hi quickly. Then I hear him walk, we're all in a circle talking, and he walks like 10 feet from me, and he says it to somebody. You think Pat's going to show porn on his phone? So I look like a guy I'm talking to, and I go, I gotta just go talk to him for a minute. And I walk over, we're right outside, and I go, you have two options. We walk and we talk, or we fucking do this right here. And he goes, well, I don't want to walk anywhere. I go, okay, you're a fucking piece of shit. Stop fucking running your goddamn mouth. I don't want to hear. And he started to look away. Go, don't fucking keep your eye contact on me. I don't want to see your face smile once. Don't fucking ever talk about me again. You're not. And he kept doing all this shit. And I'm like, I get it. You're probably trying to kill yourself when you were younger. I wish you did. But we're at the fucking point now where I don't give a fuck about what you're doing. Your little joke. He's like, I swear. And he kept like saying these things. And at one point he goes, I didn't do something that I heard him do. And I was like, don't fucking gaslight me. I go, you're a waste of talent. You have no clue what you're doing. You have no ability. You shouldn't even fucking be here. And I'm the only person that's giving you opportunities. You're trying to fuck me over business. So he's like, how did I hurt you? I go, that's how dumb you are. I had a venue. I let you perform at. You showed porn to fucking people. You don't think I make money? You don't even know about that part because you're so fucking stupid. So I can either let this go and you let this go and don't ever fucking talk about me again, or I just knock you out right now. He's like, well, I can go delete. I go, you don't delete shit. Leave all your dumb shit. I don't care what you posted, what you wrote. I've already blocked you. I don't give a fuck. Keep my name out of your mouth. And then like a minute later, runs over and goes, I'm trying to like delete it. I go, I don't ever want to talk to you. You're not fucking feeling this. And then he kind of walks away. And one of the comics goes, yeah, he doesn't have any talent. I go, was I loud? I go, it wasn't loud. It's that everyone saw you just in his face quietly like a umpire in a baseball game. Just, and you see him like almost pissing himself. And yeah. I know I was being a little bit of a dick, but it was just like, sometimes some of these dorks gotta fucking learn. And even if he goes around now and says, well, Pat's a hothead, he fucking threatened me. Good. You know what? I need some of these dorks to stay away from me anyway. So who's the piece of shit? Is it me for acting the way I did? I didn't hit him. I didn't do whatever. It was just like, enough. I'm so tired of fucking trolls that they think they can do this thing. And they also, what hurts me the most is when they say things like, but I'm just joking. It's like, but that's why you're not good at comedy, because I know jokes, and I would have laughed if it was a joke. I've laughed at many. Fucking anyone that knows me, who are these podcasts, is the biggest example of me taking a joke and rolling with it. They shit on my podcast when I was by myself, made fun of me. I laughed at the thing, and I became like a regular guest on the show. There's so many times in my life, on this podcast, fucking anything I've done, I laugh at myself all the fucking time. If it's funny, if someone's shitting on me. But this was not fun. It was just this repetitive, and not even like, it wasn't like other people were laughing or liking or whatever. It just wouldn't fucking stop. But is it me for fucking maybe overreacting? Is it this kid for fucking thinking he controls someone because in his world, no one's going to do anything? This guy's like my dad's age. You won't hit me. Well, maybe your dad should have hit you. You know what I mean? Is it the other comics who are kind of sitting there and not jumping in? I get it. They respect me. But if I was standing there and that was happening, I know I would have jumped in and said, hey, guys, take it easy. Nobody did that. Nobody fucking tried to get in between me and this guy. Not one person wanted to save this fucking kid. You would think somebody would. Who's the piece of shit?
So it's not everybody watching. They didn't want to save the kid. They wanted to let him have it. Like everybody else wanted to have that moment with him, and you just snapped. It's not you.
Not really. Most of them like him.
Well, I think they like him to a point, but they also realize where you're coming from. Like, you had enough. You didn't hit him, which I do respect. Like, you got right up to the point of physical violence where it could have happened.
I was never going to. I would have. The kid's such a twink. It would have been like
if he had socked you, you would have tackled him or something. My point.
He would have. He would have never. Like I could see in his eyes there was his arms weren't even working at this point.
But
my bark is pretty good.
I'm just saying, out of nowhere, David grabs a stone and hits a slingshot. You're Goliath. You're putting him down. And sometimes as a man, you got to get to that point where you're like, this is my breaking point. We either end this now or I hurt you. And I respect people who can get to that line without going through. You didn't just go and go, hey, we're fighting. You went, hey, this is the conversation. We're done. The kid's obviously a piece of shit. And how I would have handled the situation with you is I would have just gone, what's the punchline? And whatever he went to say, you just go, I'm funnier. Like, people know you're funnier than that. And like, why would you pick a fight with you of all people? You got humiliated at something you put this guy on. Now you've lost money. Like, just to continue the troll, you apologize. If it had been a thing where you had scolded him and all the comics agreed with him, and behind your back they were doing like, "Oh, Dad's showing porn," like making a joke that everybody was in on, that's one thing. That's not what was going on here. This is somebody trying to pass the buck of something they fucked up onto you, and by confronting him in front of a bunch of people, not a bunch, but enough comedians where like people go, "Hey, that's the word gets out." So for me, it's obviously the guy who posted this stuff. Plus, yeah, we all know
Here's
the
the
guy.
I gave him the option of not being around other people too. I tried to be as cordial with it. We can
Yeah,
take a walk.
exactly.
I wasn't gonna hit him. I wasn't gonna fight him. I'm like, we can take a walk, and I will. I was never gonna hit the kid. I don't need that rep. My comedy, it would hurt. It would only hurt me and never do anything for him. It would hurt everything with me. My job, my fucking comedy career, radio. Just a guy they kind of know beats up some unknown kid in New Haven, Connecticut. Like, it's not a thing I need. So I know no problem. That kid obviously needed to come to Jesus. With me, at least. I don't give a shit. That's the thing, too. I know what you're saying. If I thought, like, he was, like, there was any kind of joking way or way to make this, like, I've tried a couple of times to be, like, joking with him and say hi and do the, I was way past that. So me going, like, what's the punchline? Even attempting that, I've tried to help him to make himself funnier so he wouldn't be this idiot. I'm so past it. I didn't even give a fuck about that. I'm just like, do what you want to other people. Keep my fucking name out of your mouth. I'm done with you. Like, you're not good enough to talk to me.
It's over. You're not on my level. You don't get to even put my name in my mouth. Like, what?
Don't address me. Don't even fucking talk to me. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Like fuck
I am your god. What makes you feel worthy to even craft the letters in my alphabet?
Yeah, but like, it's at the point where like, I'm your god, but you're not even like a person that understands there is God. You're like an amoeba that doesn't even know that what that God exists, but something created, but you're too stupid to even fucking understand that there's something more than you.
Yeah, and I could just wipe you off, but you wouldn't even recognize me wiping you off because you're not aware enough to understand what's going on.
And this is why I believe I'm the piece of shit in the story.
Oh, okay.
Because I should, with all that being said, it's way beneath me. What do I care? I mean, yeah, things do bother me at times. It's just the way that we all are. I think certain things bother certain people. He's so under my level. It was just pointless to do it. Anything, I just kind of stooped down to a thing, and it's just like I wasn't happy with myself afterwards. Not that I felt bad. It's just like I didn't lose my temper. I never once yelled or screamed or anything, but it's just like it's not even worth my fucking time. But if something dumb did happen, I could ruin a lot of shit for some dumb thing, for some worthless shithead that probably still won't learn the lesson. He'll just stay away from me, but it'll still just be. There's so many. Like, I went to the 9 o'clock. I went to another mic right afterwards, and there was this kid who's just trying to troll people, and this other loser guy that fucking does the same thing, but he's not like autistic or weird like this kid. He's just a regular dork, but he's always like going on stage and calling people gay, and he's not, no jokes, and he just thinks it's funny. And it would just take 2 seconds to beat the shit out of this kid, but he avoids me because he tried it once, and he came over trying to make a joke, and I was like, "What are we fucking doing?" And he's like, "Oh, my bad. I was just joking." I'm like, "There's no joke." And then he walked away. But there's a lot of those young kids at the mic. And I know one of the older men at mics, and maybe it's not my time to be at mics anymore, but fuck it. That's how I work on jokes. Other people don't write. I write more than a lot of people. I'm not trying to say that as a brag or whatever, but I mean, every young comic I know is like, holy shit, you come up with new material all the time. Like, that's what I love about comedy, is the writing. I have new hours every year. So it's like, I love writing material, so I need mics to do it. But at the same time, it's supposed to be a young person's place. And they're like, I think they try to joke about the old man, but this old man still feels like he's young and still acts like a fucking idiot sometimes. You know what I mean? But I should have just not. I'm not even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So this little dork and all these other little dorks think they can just do that because in their world, that's what dorks do now. They just fucking nitpick and needle and no repercussions. That's why everyone's allowed to be fucking trans and gay and stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll talk about all of those things and stories I have, both gay, trans, and stupid. Which one do you want to start with?
Stupid.
Stupid. So the number one stupid thing is, do you remember what dressage is?
Dressage?
In the Olympics? It's the story we covered where they do the horse dancing.
Oh, the horse thing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. With the whipping.
So did you hear the Americans got disqualified
In horse?
in the horse dancing dressage
No, I did not.
because our horse was visibly bleeding? So once again, the U.S. goes,
What the
anything you
fuck?
can do, England, we can do better, baby.
Where-
You want to beat
where
your
was it
horse? We'll beat
bleeding
the
from?
shit. Its knees. It had been.
Oh,
whipped.
okay.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
like
it had been
ass or
bleeding.
anything.
No. It was like visibly it had been beaten by like 5 minutes prior to going out.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a real thing apparently.
Don't you hate that when someone brings out the thing they beat? And you're like, God damn it.
And they're like, why is it bleeding? And they're like, I mean, how did you make yours, dude? The dance.
I fell
did the
down the P.
You did the
I fell down
carrot.
the
We did the
stairs.
stick.
You fell down the stairs on your eye only?
Yeah, only on your front left knee. Oh, I had to learn. But let's start with gymnastics. It's the Olympics. Why not? We both kind of touched on a bit of this story. Do you remember? Everybody remembers Simone Biles, right? She's the shit. She also got the shakes.
She's the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how I would describe her, but yeah, I guess she's the shit. when it
I
comes
mean,
to
for
gymnastics.
like 12 years in a row, she's been the top of the best, Simone Biles. Like, no one's even close to her.
No, I know what you meant, but it was just so fun. Like, I never think of gymnasts as the shit, but you're right. In the world of gymnastics, she is the fucking shit.
Oh, absolutely. And
You're
like,
not wrong. It was just funny.
she went through her main controversy in 2021, which was she got the yips and wasn't able to compete. If you'll recall, she withdrew.
I don't recall, but I knew there was some shit about her, but I don't recall what.
So basically, she just got the yips, and too much pressure was on her, and she sat out. And her teammate ended up winning the all-around gold, so it didn't cost us anything. But this isn't quite just about her; it goes back a little further than that. In the competitive world of gymnastics, tensions can run high. Recently, Michaela Skinner's comments about the 2024 U.S. Olympic gymnastics team sparked controversy, drawing responses from Simone Biles, among others. So, if you don't remember, Michaela Skinner won the silver at the Tokyo Olympics.
Is that the white woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Very.
like hate each other now or some shit, right? I've
Yeah.
heard that. That's all I've heard.
So that's what this all kind of seems to be about. It all began in June of 2024 when Michaela Skinner shared her thoughts during a live YouTube video. She commented on the work ethic of the 2024 U.S. Olympic gymnastics team, excluding Simone Biles. So she was like, besides Simone, I feel like the talent and depth just isn't what it used to be. A lot of girls just don't work as hard. Skinner criticized the team, suggesting many gymnasts lack the same work ethic as they had in the past when she was competing, which is weird because it's literally 3 years ago. These comments did not go unnoticed, however. Simone Biles, known for her amazing performance and basically being the Michael Jordan of gymnastics, responded subtly on Threads, saying, "Not everyone needs a mic and a platform." The backlash was swift. Against Skinner, she took to Instagram, claiming her comments were, quote, misinterpreted, end quote. She apologized, stating she meant no harm to the current team and was reflecting on her own experience under the strict coaching of Marta I should know how to say that name. The relationship between Skinner and Biles has certainly seen better days. They were teammates at the 2021 Olympics, but recently comments have brought underlying tensions to the surface. In 2021, when Biles withdrew from several events to focus on her mental health, Skinner stepped in and dedicated her silver medal to Biles, saying, "I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her." After Team USA won the gold at the Olympics, Biles posted a comment on Instagram of the winning team with a caption seemingly directed at Skinner, quote, "lack of talent, comma, lazy, comma, Olympic champions," with a heart. And the response was immediate. Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens, commented, "F around and find out," while her sister, Adria Biles, added, "Ha ha 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 ha." Other gymnasts like Jordan Childs and Michaela Maroney also chimed in. Jordan Childs said, "Whoa, she really said that out loud and posted it. That's amazing." And then 2012 Olympic champion and Fierce 5 member, I'm sure you remember, Michaela Maroney, wrote that she felt like she needs to apologize just to redeem her first name. It doesn't get more.
Fierce 5.
You don't remember the Fierce 5?
No.
Of gymnastics? It was like
No, don't say it like that. I don't know. I don't remember the
you don't
Fierce
remember that
5.
girl?
Who the fuck knows the Fierce Five? They're Fierce?
The one with the lip thing. Yeah, they were the Fierce Five. That was their
Carrie
nickname.
Strung? That's way before that,
That's
right?
way before them. Yeah, dude. We're not
You
even
ever heard
talking
like
about Carly. Carly Pincarini was almost a decade
Chris
before them.
Kattan would play that girl? I felt so bad. He's like, "Oh, I'm Carrie Strung." I was like, "What the fuck?" As a child.
My favorite though is Michaela Maroney, who wrote, "I feel like I need to apologize to redeem my first name. It doesn't get more iconic than this. She effed around and found out. FR,
Ooh,
Pat."
yeah.
So who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Michaela Skinner? Like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, you chose gymnastics. Your prime was in 2021, and now you're basically a 90-year-old woman. You have no relevance. You won't be anything. Everybody's forgotten about you. Is it? So keep your mouth shut about the current people. Is it the current people for getting really mad and not realizing she was just giving them perfect locker room material and giving them something they could all rally behind and a cause to get behind? That's something Marta put in place years ago. We've seen it all the time. You know, I remember she told, was it Carrie Straw who broke her ankle, right? That's who you're referring to?
Yeah, I think she broke her ankle. I don't remember much about
So
that.
she
But
broke her
yeah.
ankle and then she
And
landed
she's
the
like,
ball to
"Ah!"
win.
And that's why they did the voice and made fun of her. Yeah, I think.
But they pulled her aside, and Marta infamously whispered in her ear, "Last time I checked, the leg's a hell of a long way from the heart." And then she went and landed her beam, and then the old creepy dude who's probably a pedophile carried her off. So is it Skinner? Is it the team? Is it Simone Biles? She left you out of this, Simone. I get you're a captain and you're rallying behind your team, but like you just pointed out in the story you told Pat, you're above this. You're a gold medal winner. That's something Michaela Skinner will never be. You've done it 3 times now, thrice. Like, you don't need to address her in the night you won. Sure, you want to put in an Instagram post a week later, by all means, and I'm all for the victory lap, but I'm just throwing out there as a devil's advocate. Is the piece of shit all the other people who chimed in? I mean, far be it from me to say any of the Fab Five of gymnastics, Michaela and friends, as I like to call them, be the piece of shit. But like, again, your time's also done. You don't need to make yourself a part of this story. She didn't reference you specifically. It'd be one thing if it was another former teammate, but like those two didn't even cross paths that much, other than I guess Michaela did mentor, but whatever. Is it, you've got her husband who's a football player who's like, oh, she effed around and found out. I do love a man getting behind a much more successful woman, right? Like she's actually accomplished things in her sport, something her husband is yet to do. I hope he's as successful as her because he'd be the greatest quarterback of all time. But at this point, maybe focus on your wife's win, less about talking shit. But I guess maybe it was a big thing in the Biles household. I don't know. Who's your piece of shit, Pat?
No, it's funny. Real quick, a side note. There was a story I was going to do, but we thought we were doing the same story, but we actually were not. I just found out, but I'll leave that alone anyway because you were saying you hope that the husband has success. Well, the husband was in the news for like overly getting excited about Simone's big win so far, to the point where there's a lot of pictures of him wearing the gold around his neck and him holding like all the championships, and everyone's like, why is he wearing it? And she's just standing next to them taking pictures. He's wearing all the shit. And then he's like, yeah, we're champions. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Relax. Like, you're not a champ. So, like, yeah, dude, this guy is like thinking it's like us. So I think part of the problem with the Olympics is that, especially gymnasts like that, you mentioned the Fierce Five, whatever the fuck they are, and all those groups. Gymnasts are always presented to us as a group of young girls that have fought through this and that and gone through these qualifiers. But then they're all shown to us as individuals, and then one gets touted and the others don't. It's kind of a crapshoot of who. Yes, there's super talent that slides through, but it is kind of a crapshoot where the media puts their focus. You brought up the other girl, Michaela Maroney. Michaela Maroney was the only, and I hate to say this in this way, but she's grown up to be the same thing. She was pretty. And she wasn't as good as the other ones, but she was pretty, so she was easier to shove into the media. And then when the little uglier ones did better, they're like showing her, cheering them on because they want to still put a pretty girl there.
True.
And I hate to say this, but until the last, I want to say 10 years ago, but to be honest, like 6, media people, when they wanted pretty, they meant white. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that was what they thought America wanted. Cute girl next door was never a black girl. It was never a Chinese girl. It was never Asian. It was never Mexican, anything like that. It was always a white girl. And so therefore, Skinner has been raised since birth as a blonde-haired, in shape gymnast girl that she's going to be the face. Like, that's how they kind of raised them. So that face also has to learn how to be a leader when they get a little bit older. And so therefore, I think she's only speaking out because she's been groomed to do that, especially now that they've done this flip. The gymnast team now, and they've talked about this, there's only one white person on the gymnast team for the United States, and that's the first time ever that's happened. And it is way more diverse and woke, and it's not because they're being woke. These girls are amazing. Like, they're super talented, and some of them weren't getting opportunities same way in other sports like golf and stuff like that, where to be a gymnast, your family needs to have a lot of money to send you to camps and training, all these to do a thing that you don't ever really win money for. You might get advertising, but it really wasn't a poor person's game or a minority's game for a while. Now, with other people wanting to push people forward and things of that nature, and also with America allowing minorities to make the same amount of money as white people do, there are people that can do these things now. So Skinner is only doing what Skinner's supposed to do, so she's not the piece of shit. She's trying to do all the right things. She's being groomed. Be a leader. Be this way. You're not the champ anymore. But when you do win, make sure you take care of. Don't say anything bad about black people. So she's probably like, yeah, I dedicate this to Simone because he just wants to make sure that everyone, you know what I mean? Like, she's just pandering, but she doesn't know what to. These aren't speakers. These aren't intelligent girls. These are people that were from birth trained and forced to just be this one thing. They don't know how to fucking handle social situations. So when they argue and bicker and fight, it's because that's their high school, that's their middle school, that's their life. Like, these are the people that are around. They fucking hate each other. They're supposed to be supported when they get to the team in America, but throughout the whole years of lives, they're all competing by milliseconds to be better. You never hear about other swimmers loving Michael Phelps when he was dominant, because every time he would destroy the fuck out of them.
Except for that you know one dude he threw a race for, yeah.
Right. It's like, and even though he was trying to be cool, want friends, it's like he had to be good, and it's gotta be hard to be that way. It's not Simone either. Like, you know, it's like she's just reacting the way she's gonna. And I would, if I was a young African American girl in a sport that's mostly for whites, and then I'm dominating, I'm gonna be cocky. I'm gonna be defensive. I'm gonna be that way. I just get that. It really is media for focusing on this. It's a non-story. The story is the U.S. is doing all right in gymnasts and overall. That cover the sport. I don't know why anyone. I like stories, but I watch wrestling, so I like storyline. I'll watch nighttime soap operas. I'll watch shows that give me story. I like movies and shows that have a great storyline. I love comics that tell stories. I don't need stories in my sports. I know a lot of people say that. I like sports for sports' sake. I like the athletic nature of it. Now, when you find out later there's a story, when you're like, it's like NCAA basketball, and they're like, it's one young guy, he had a heart problem, and now he's playing. It's nice, but I don't give a fuck. Can he hit a three? Are they going to beat Duke? Do I bet on this? Like, that's all I fucking care about. So in gymnasts, I just want to see him flipping shit. I don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. So the shit's media for telling us this stuff.
In the gymnast defense, though, they won gold. You weren't aware of this story. So isn't it kind of just like a sweet story after they did exactly what you wanted?
No, I don't care about anything.
Oh, okay. I don't
even care if they win gold. I don't.
They did.
I haven't watched 1 second of the Olympics, and I don't plan to. It's stupid. We don't need it anymore. We all can play each other in everything all the time now.
I still like
It's the same thing like interleague play in baseball. That ruined baseball for me because it used to be cool to go once. Only in the World Series could you see Cleveland play, Atlanta. And you're like, oh my God, they've never matched up. Like, this is great. Oh my God, one's got to have a pitcher's going to have to hit. And he never hit his whole career. And now they do it all the fucking time and no one cares that it's not special. Same thing with this, with travel and with the internet and all this. We're seeing everyone and everything. Nothing is rare and different. It's not crazy. It's not weird to watch how are the Asian athletes going to battle against North American. They don't know each other. They don't travel. Now they compete 8 billion times a year. All these girls fight against each other in different world championship of gymnasts, the international gymnast thing, the Peru gymnast thing. Every week there's a different fucking thing. So it's not special. Who gives a fuck?
All right, that's fair. I was laughing. You were talking about the imposter syndrome of like when somebody's groomed to be the next pretty one and then somebody else is better at it. You know the craziest version of that story? Do you remember the Morgan brothers?
No,
No, the Ham twins, I'm sorry. So
no.
Paul and Morgan Ham were twins.
Oh,
And
okay. I remember the
basically
name Paul Ham for some reason. I don't remember
Paul
twins though.
yeah, they were twins and Paul was like the stud going into 2008, I believe.
Okay.
And then he fucked up in the first round and his brother who had been hurt and like rehabbing the whole time came in and like cleaned up and ended up being the guy who carried the team to bronze. He was like the face of male gymnastics for a while. And dude, how crazy would that be if you see your own face in the position you were supposed to be in until you choked? Like you have to see literally you in that position, but it's not you.
Dude, okay, this is a question way off topic. It just made me thinking. Do twins look at their twins' face and think it looks like them, or because they're so in sync with each all the time, do they see the little similarities and the differences and go, "Oh, that looks nothing like me"? Like, do twins think they don't look like the other one?
Dude, do you know what your face looks like?
What the fuck's that mean? What are you doing?
No. No, I didn't mean it as an insult.
Fuck you. Do I have to get close to you and yell at you?
No, I don't think they know what they look like, so they're just like, "Oh, I look like that."
No, but I mean, like they're together so every day. Million. I know exactly what my brother looks like. People
Right.
see me and go, "Wow, you and your brother look a lot alike," and I'm like, "No, he looks like Jake, like way different than me," because I know him
I
more
see
than
what you're
everybody
saying
else.
now. Okay. I see what you're saying now. That makes sense. Yeah, I would
Yeah, and I
imagine
know
they
what the
don't think
fuck I look like. God damn you!
I don't. Like people who like draw your face. Oh, there's one eye
Well,
that's a
you're the
little more round
Unabomber
than the
now. I
other.
was like, who knows? You got so many accessories. I don't know what you look like either without all your shit.
I just got a hat and sunglasses. It's not a
No,
ton
right
of
now you got a
shit.
hat, sunglasses, headphones. There's a it's so much. Like, you're gonna draw this. It's like I don't know. I think this guy mows the lawn.
I my piece of shit in the story, and I'm so glad you provided the insight a little bit into the husband. Is anybody else who's chiming in? This was Simone's moment. I thought the husband was being supportive, but clearly he's making this moment about him. So for me, the POS is like, hey, shut the fuck up, Michaela. Make this face again.
Well, you be careful which Michaela you're talking about.
Both.
No. You leave Michaela Maroney the fuck out of this right now.
Why has she got to be a part of this? I
'Cause
get
she's
that people
fucking cute.
hear Michaela and that she's white and they assume it's a gym. It's one person. It's not two different people. No, nobody really watched 2021 Olympics because we were all stuck indoors. So like I get it, but at the same time, just let this be
I
the
don't know
stars
anything
going
about
to shine.
gymnasts and gymnastics and stories, but I do know about one thing. The
Mhm.
Michaela smirk. I just sent you 2 pictures. You don't know about the Michaela smirk? I've
I
known about the
do.
Michaela smirk the whole time.
Yeah, I've been doing this whole thing.
Yeah, but she's not. But one of them, she looks pretty good being a smirk. The other one, she just looks like she's a bitch.
Well, I mean,
So you don't shit on the smirk.
I think she's both.
I think she is America's hero.
Maybe I want her to bully me. Maybe that's what I'm into.
I don't think she would. I don't think she would even give you the time of day because she's Michaela McCurk, whatever the fuck.
Well, I don't know if you know this. I got some pretty high up connections in that community.
No, you don't. Don't you know the guy who fucking diddled them or something?
No, God, no.
Don't you know
That's
that
who's
guy
really
diddled-
the piece of shit. They used to keep this in house, and then he had to diddle a bunch of people. Now everything has to be out in the public.
finger bang? Oh no, did I get rid of the wrong story? Yeah. Okay. Hey, you like pedophiles?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're gonna hate this. Do you like English pedophiles?
Definitely not. That's the worst
UK.
kind because I just
Yep.
assume anybody with that accent's already a little blimey.
Well, this is not only being a pedophile, but this is also being a pedophile and not giving a fuck.
Oh,
UK's best known news anchor, Hugh Edwards. By the way, just so you know, he spells Hugh Huw. So fuck off. That's stupid. Admits having child porn of kids as young as 7. Admits.
Maybe his first name is the noise you make when you hear about his crimes. You just go,
Ugh.
ugh.
Do you think like when people ask him how old and he's like, what are you like 6-year-olds? He goes, gross.
Ugh. Ugh. 7.
I mean, obviously, 7's when they get hot.
Ugh.
Hugh.
No, it's pronounced Hugh.
Hugh. It's done to the kid, though. Yeah.
What do I look like? A twiddlywinker? The lad has to
Discreet-
be at least 7.
Disgraced BBC news anchor Hugh Edwards pleaded guilty Wednesday to possessing child pornography, including one image of a child believed to be as young as 7.
Oh, what did he
former host
report
of-
on? What did he report on?
Breaking news, look at that tiny dick.
Yeah, exactly. What is it? Is that how they caught him? A 7-year-old was to save from him. Well, who's going to save him from this predator? Live at 9.
We've got to stop most pedophiles. Back to you, Jim. Like, wait, what? What? Most?
Like, no one we're friends with, but most.
The former host of the BBC flagship News at 10 program, and one of the most recognizable faces on British TV, hid his face behind a pair of black shades as he arrived at Westminster Magistrates Court in London on Wednesday. The veteran journalist, 62, who quit the BBC after 40 years in April. It's crazy. They had that other guy, Jimmy, what was his name? He was like the big TV star too. Seville?
Oh, I thought it was Carr.
No, they had Jimmy Seville. If you look him up, he was like a super pedophile. He was like, he did all these charity things and he would fuck all like the retarded kids and stuff, like, and molest them. Like, he was fucking brutal. These the English guys don't fuck. They get real famous on TV. They just fuck kids. Like,
He was
stop.
The British Jerry Lewis was the biggest pedophile of all time. He used to have a telephone. They were like, "Where's the money going? I had to get these kids."
Yeah, it's BBC is like the Vatican to like English report. Like, you just, if you want to fuck a kid, you just go there.
They're all inbred, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's not fair.
No, it's not. But maybe in the Muzzies' defense, that's what they're getting all stabby about. They're all just YouTube pedophile busters.
Yeah, stop trying to fuck my kids. Stab.
Stabby, stabby.
The veteran journalist who quit the BBC after 40 years admitted to possessing 41 indecent images. Oh, he admits that. There's 42 here. One's not mine.
Whoa.
Woo. That kid's 18. 7 of which are category A, the most serious offense. The images were mostly of children ages 13 to 15. However, there were 2 moving images of a young child believed to be 7 and 9 years old. Prosecutors are moving. Oh, they mean like they were actually moving, like video? I thought they meant like
They're probably gifts.
they were like naked, but they were like helping a homeless person.
Oh no.
This is moving.
Blaze brings
They're
up a good
working at an
point.
animal shelter, but they're also showing their sweet buttholes. This is moving.
Blaze does bring up a good point. We should make a montage of all the British pedophiles to the Gary Glitter song. Hey, bum ba ba.
You know what, Blaze? You can do that in your own fucking time. We're not putting that on the channel.
No, he said don't forget
Jeez.
Clary Kidder. I took it to the next step.
Jesus. The married father of 5 who wore a dark blue suit, light blue tie, and white shirt faces up to 10 years in prison. Imagine if you're a father of 5. Those kids are like, whoop. Thank God we're his.
Imagine the body dysmorphia they're going to grow up with. How ugly did I have to be that I wasn't fuckable?
No, I think if anything, they're just like, oh, he's got weird standards. Like, I would never fuck my own kids.
I mean, I don't know. All I'm saying is I was an altar boy for years. I went to Penn State for school, and nobody diddled me. Like how?
But did you go the same time as Sandusky?
Yeah, I was there for the
I
riot.
thought it was over by then.
My buddy Buckley went over to Joe Pa's house right before he died.
Was he invited or he just went over there?
They were all in the same fraternity. They did this
okay.
weird initiation that involves some little boy and a middle linebacker. I don't know all the
Was
details.
he at least 7?
Sorry, we went on a tangent.
Class A. Edwards, who remained the national broadcaster top earning news anchor even after he quit in disgrace, confirmed his name, address, and date of birth in a loud, clear voice ahead of the 26-minute hearing.
Good afternoon. It is 3:30 p.m. and this is the British's worst pedophile.
So you gotta do the voice, like it's like that. Good evening and welcome to Pedophile Monthly.
I'll be your host this evening, Gary Glitter.
You sit in your couch and your child can sit on my lap as we go over today's news. But first, sports. Somebody just beat the shit out of a horse. I know
Turns out
Australia.
they all might be pedophiles.
The court. If you're a broadcaster in England, you might be a pedophile.
You're in the media. You probably have diddled a kid.
If you reported on who else has crossed Abbey Road, you might diddle a child.
It does feel like life hasn't been good since the Blue Collar Comedy Tour broke up. Just throwing that out there.
And then when they made the Black Collar Comedy Tour, those guys right after him, they called it the Kings of Comedy. It was just the Black Collar Comedy Tour.
Yes, it is an interesting time to tune in, Z.
Yeah. The court heard that Edwards and another adult man who was not identified had been messaging via WhatsApp between the... I think people don't care. Like, you just go on WhatsApp and just talk about kid fucking. During that time, Edwards received a total of 377 sexual images, 41 of which were indecent images of minors, the bulk of which were sent in a 2-month period. In February, I like how they sent in bulk. He's like, I can't download any more kid porn right now. You're going to have to wait a little bit. My computer's nuts.
Send me a goddamn zip file or nothing. I can't fit shit on this piece of shit. But I would just like to point out the terms of service of WhatsApp clearly say you got to be 18. Seems
yeah,
like
but the pictures don't.
So you got some real pieces of shit in this story, don't we? A bunch of 17-year-olds sending naughty pics on there.
In February 2021, the man asked Edwards whether the minors in the image he was sending were too young, to which the disgraced anchor responded by telling him not to send anything illegal. Oh, he got set up? The two men continued to exchange pornographic material until April 2022, the court heard. Edwards' defense lawyer, Philip Evans KC, said that there was no suggestion that the ex-BBC presenter had made or created any of the images. Evans added that Edwards did not keep or send the images on his device. There's no suggestion in this case that Mr. Edwards has, in the traditional sense of the word, created any image of any sort. It is important also to remember that for context that devices, Mr. Edwards' devices, have been seized, have been searched, and there's nothing in those devices. It is only the images that the subject of charges that came via WhatsApp that were there. Hold on. I just got my thing fucked. It comes less than a week after the BBC published its annual report in which salaries and earnings of the network's top employees were revealed. Edwards, who topped the list of newsreaders at a corporation with a staggering $616,000 annual salary, earned a mass $51,000 pay raise last year, despite being suspended for most of the time. That's weird that he raised. The Welsh actor, probably for the lawyers, they're like, you know what? We'll help you pay for the lawyers, whatever. The Welsh anchor was unmasked by his wife, Vicky Find, last year as the mystery broadcaster allegedly paid more than $45,000 to a teenager for sexually explicit photos. Wait, unmasked? What kind of game show is that? It's like, who fucked the whore? It's like, it's my husband.
It's Jimmy Carr with 8 out of 10 commentators are pedophiles. Let's find out who molested a kid tonight.
Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it this man, the news anchor, who fucking has a bunch of kid stuff on his phone? It sounds like that it wasn't something that he asked for. He said, please don't send me. It's weird he's being sent porn. You can just find your own porn. So I know he's saying out loud, don't send me any kid stuff. But, like, why would he need someone to send him something if it wasn't illegal? Why couldn't he just go online and find his own porn? It's very simple. Is it the other guy, the unknown man, who's just like, hey, you need some kid pics? I got everything you need, baby. What do you need? You need Korean kids? You need a Taiwaner? What do you want there? I got it all. But even though the kids are small, the MBs are big, so I'm not going to be able to send it all to you right away. I'm going to have to do it in a couple bulks, you know what I'm saying? Is it him? Is it the wife for being like, I'm still with him? It's like, what? I'd be like, it should be saying ex-wife throughout this thing. Ex-wife, ex-wife. What the fuck's going on there? Is it the BBC giving the guy fucking a raise while he's suspended during this shit? Even if he's like saying, until you're proven guilty, no, you fucking cut ties. And if you have to come back later on and disgrace, like, hey, we hired him back. What's the big fucking deal? But no, he was there 40 years. You fucking even get... I don't care if he never fucking diddled a kid or whatever. If someone sends you kid porn on your phone, then you accept it. You're not like going to kill them and calling the cops yourself going, this motherfucker just sent me this. It's not me. Fuck this shit. And you're not saying everything and you're just like, just don't send too many young ones. Then you're fucking garbage. So you let go of that guy. So is it the BBC for fucking keeping him, making him the highest paid guy? He'd be off my payroll in a second. Who's a piece of shit in the story?
So I would be likely to let the guy off the hook a little bit. There is a known backdoor into WhatsApp, where people can send you files without you knowing you got them. But the fact that he doesn't have them on his phone at all is a little suspicious. Like they knew he had them, but they don't know when he you know what I mean? Like that's so he had to know they were on there at some point.
And
or
for
he
him
just
to say, just don't send me anything too young, means he knows something's being sent.
and he's using the app. It's not like it's hidden in the background. Somebody didn't get into his phone that way. Also, the fact that the wife came forward and knew the exact amount he had sent a minor to send him nude photographs. That's what she came out with. Makes me feel like this guy is guilty as sin. I get where the BBC's coming from. Like, yes, get this dude off your payroll. But also, if it's found out that he was set up or that he is innocent and you fired him inappropriately, you're going to pay him quadruple that in restitution and shit like that in the court of law. So suspend him. I would suspend him without pay. That's just me personally. It seems like a win-win for you. And, you know, it seems like you're being a little harsher on pedophilia and you don't have the biggest guy on your payroll there. But for me, the piece of shit's the guy, dude, you're famous. Go fuck a hot chick. That's why you get famous. Nobody wants to be famous just to be famous. They want to be famous so you could get hot puss. That's what you and I are banking on. Hot puss? Yeah.
I don't want to hear that it's hot. I would like them to be attractive, but the puss just needs to be like just regular temp.
You and I are looking for that lukewarm puss. Who's your piece of shit?
Listen, we're friends, but not together. We're not. We're not looking for puss.
We're looking for two
You
separate...
look for your puss, I look for my puss.
I'm looking for hot puss, Pat's looking for lukewarm, and ZZ's looking for purple puss.
Purple puss?
One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple pussy eaters?
Get out of here. I don't like that at all. That's not good.
You ready for the, what are we calling it? The
Polished turd?
Polished turd, yeah. It's just the song today, so I'll present the story then.
Story first or song first?
Song first, and then I'll get into the story.
I walked into Burger King just another day. Ordered up some burgers, fries the usual way. Got the kids their meals, happy as can be. But little did I know there was more than I could see. I heard mommy, I didn't want ketchup, she said. What she found on the burger filled her with dread. Blood on the wrapper, it wasn't from me. A mother's worst nightmare wrapped in her seat. Gettysville was the place where this nightmare came true. Simple drive-through order became a shocking view. The manager apologized and the staff was confused. How could such a thing happen? Left us all bemused. Well, I heard mommy, I didn't want ketchup, she said. What she found on the burger filled her with dread. Blood on the wrapper, it wasn't from me. A mother's worst nightmare right there in her seat. Department called an investigation start, ensuring safety measures to ease a worried heart. Families now cautious,
sing along if you know the words.
Every bite they take, hoping this was just one unfortunate mistake. Heard mommy, I didn't want she said. What you found the burger filled her with dread. Love around her, it wasn't from the meat. A mother's worst nightmare right there in her seat. So next time you order, just take a second glance. You never know, might be there by chance. Keep your loved ones safe in every meal you share. Stories like these are more than we can bear.
Cha.
Boom. So did you get what happened?
Kinda.
Okay, good. Then I'll share the whole story. In a small town in Western New York.
I walked into Burger King just another day.
That's the wrong one. All right.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you were that into it, man? You want one more?
Yeah, let's go again. Woo!
So in a small town in Western New York, a mother and her daughter experienced a shocking fast food incident that has left a community in disbelief. And surprisingly, Pat, it wasn't a Popeyes. Tiffany Floyd, a resident of Sanborn, decided to treat her 4-year-old daughter to a meal from their local Burger King. That treat quickly turned into a trick when an enjoyable outing quickly turned into a nightmare. It all started when Floyd handed the meal to her daughter. Moments later, she heard, "Mom, I don't want ketchup." Confused, Floyd took the bag, frustrated, and was expecting a typical mix up. To her horror, the meal was covered in blood. Blood on the burger, blood on the wrapper, and even blood on the toy inside. Tiffany immediately contacted the Burger King manager, who confirmed that an employee had cut his hand, but downplayed the severity of the situation. The manager offered a refund and explained that the worker had been injured, but didn't think the bleeding was that bad. Uh, Concerned for her daughter's health, Floyd reported the incident to the Niagara County Health Department. Uh, who's the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it the Burger King for handing out bloody meals?
No, I mean, they weren't bloody meal. It was one meal, right? Is there reports of more?
I don't know, but dude,
You're cracking up real hard at this. This is
we
terrible.
all cut ourselves at work. You don't then hand out a bloody meal.
Dude, that's fine. I would be so mortified. Especially my child's like, what is happening? I'm like, oh my God.
Did you see the picture of the bloody McDonald's meal? That was the real picture.
It was gross.
So is it the Burger King employee? You don't bleed on the meal. Is it the manager who clearly didn't let the Burger King employee go home, so he bled all over a meal to get the health department involved? Is it the health department to be like, problem solved, Jim cut his finger? Who's your piece of shit?
I think
Sorry.
it's you for this story and then making a fun song with it. Like they were singing, and I was like, this kid is too happy. Like you surely, I don't know what AI has to do with that. Was like one of those like what was that, Casey or whatever it is, Musgrave, like a country lady,
Bluegrass, yeah.
Singing like this little fucking fun song, but it was like about the worst thing. Like I'm mad that this is in my world. Like I don't ever want to eat fast food again. Like I fucking dude, it's you. I mean, not you, but just you for like not only choosing this, but then making it a song and then asking us to sing along if we know the fucking word. No, I would never sing along to the Bloody Burger song. No, I hate this. Yo, you're the piece of shit.
Dude, imagine the mindset transition, right? You're driving home. It sounds like, what was it, 9 years old daughter? Goes, "Mom, I didn't want ketchup." You're pissed because you don't like her attitude. You're pissed because Burger King was supposed to be a quick fix. Now you got to go get in line. And then you see literal. How do you
cracking up at this? This is awful.
It's the worst thing I can imagine.
I can't imagine. It's gross what I'm imagining. Fucking
Mom told the daughter, "Spit it out, spit it out, spit out anything you
stop making kids spit."
No, like literally, that happened in the story. The kid had already eaten some.
So who's your piece of shit?
I mean, it's not the guy for bleeding that made my day.
It's not also you.
It's the therapist who's gonna have to treat this young girl who's traumatized. For me, the piece of shit's Burger King. The manager was like, "Oh yeah, Jim just cut his finger. Don't worry about it. Come back. I'll give you a refund." Like, you gotta go a little bit. She should be eating Burger King for life. Burger King should be putting that girl through college. This is tragic, but it's hilarious. One of the funniest stories I've heard. So, Pat, tell the people tell the people the next story and your plugs while I run to the bathroom real quick.
You run to the bathroom. You go bleed on a burger. That was gross. I don't want to tell you anything. I want to tell you guys I'm sorry for that fucking song and story. No, I mean, Bobby really enjoyed bleeding, which scares me. My album recording is literally like a week away, basically. Yeah, Bobby and I got our confirmation emails for our hotels and all that kind of stuff, and we're very excited. And I've been running around every night, really just fine tuning. I'm there. I'm still fucking with the order. I mean, if you come Thursday or Friday, you might see all the joke, but in different orders. I think Saturday is going to be the final. Those two shows will be the way how I choose it. But right now, I've got this joke that I'm either opening on or closing on, and it's hit or miss each time. I might even go hit a mic tonight. to work it out. I'm doing stuff Thursday and Friday as well, but like I'm really excited about this. I really like the jokes I've written. This is my 4th album. I really think this is going to be a really fun one for everyone to check out, and I'd love you to all see it live. So please come to Comics Roadhouse. It's at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. So anywhere in New England or New York, wherever you're around, come out, get a hotel room, stay. I would hit it up soon though, because there's always a busy place to get a room or get a room around there. Come hang out with us. 1 show Thursday, 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday, August 8th, 9th, and 10th. ComicsRoadhouse.com, Comics, COMIX, Roadhouse.com to get your tickets. And I'd love you to join us there. Bobby, hello. How was your bathroom?
It was great. And if you're a hot whore, hit me up that lives in the Mohegan area. I'm looking for that
You're a
hot
hot whore and you're
Yep.
watching this. You're a guy.
Ah, boy, that's not what we're looking for.
I don't know where to go with that.
there's no segue. I said, yeah, I took you to a cliff and walked you off the edge.
That's right. Speaking of taking off a cliff and going to the edge, the master of that is Trump. And Trump said the craziest thing I think Trump's ever said. It's kind of low key. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought this was nuts. Trump says that Harris became a black person for political purposes during animated Chicago black journalist event. He's claiming that she wasn't black until she needed to be. Former President Donald Trump said he didn't know Vice President Kamala Harris was black until recently, as he took the stage at the National Association for Black Journalists Convention on here Wednesday, prompting some outrage from the audience he's trying to win over. In an attempt to court more minority voters in his continuous campaign to expand the GOP base, Trump spoke to an animated attendance of hundreds, where he accused Harris of only recently leaning into half her identity, asserting that she became a black person for political purposes. The vice president's mother is Indian, while her father is black. An Indian, like from India, not like
Yeah, not.
the other one. Yeah, those guys. I've known for her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, Trump said of Harris. I think he keeps saying turn black. And now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know if she's Indian or she's black. But you know what? I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't. Shots fired.
Bang, bang.
I like them. She became a black person. I think somebody should look into that. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I love him. I don't know if I love him as a president, but I love him as a human being. His remarks immediately sparked backlash from the White House. Of course they did. As a person of color, as a black woman, what he just said is repulsive. It's insulting, and no one has any right to tell someone who they are and how they identify, said White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who also served as Harris' 2020 campaign chief of staff. With less than 100 days to go before the general election, the Trump team has been trying to expand its reach to voters who would not usually vote Republican. Creating an inclusive GOP was a key theme in the Republican National Convention earlier this month, and the campaign has pointed to polls showing Trump having expanded numbers of minority voters behind him. The Chicago event had an attempt at reaching black media with a message of how another Trump presidency could benefit the country, but the event quickly went off the rails. Trump 78 said he had been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln, and spoke at length about Harris' administration letting in a record number of illegal immigrants during her term with President Biden, noting that the migrants would take over black jobs. Millions and millions of people that are happening to take black jobs, Trump said, prompting outcry from the audience and one of the panelists to say, what exactly is a black job? He said, a black job is any job that is anybody that has a job. Trump responded to more ruckus from the audience. He initially ruffled feathers in the black community when he made the same argument during his June 27th debate with President Biden, who had since dropped from the race. His presence Tuesday was met with pushback from locals and from within the NABJ. Left-wing protesters organized a march outside the downtown Hilton location, and the co-chair of the NABJ convention, Karen Ataya, stepped down from her role, arguing Trump was being platformed by being interviewed at the event. Trump's remarks at the event received mixed reviews. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Trump for fucking playing this down? Like, I understand he wants the black vote, and he wants to, but you don't need to go, hey, she's not black. Like, that's neither are you. So it's like it's a weird thing to say when you're not. Like, if he was black, and he's like, if you want a black president, I'm black. She's just kind of black. She's never really been black. I would get that. If she was going against like Obama, and Obama's like, I'm blacker than you. I'm from Chicago. Fuck you. Whatever. Indians aren't black. Whatever. But is it Trump? Is it Kamala Harris? Again, this is like the third time in like 5 days that we covering stories where Kamala Harris said something and now it comes back at her. Like, she used to just say she was Indian. Why weren't you black then? Why weren't you pushing that? Even if she was black, or is it that woman, the Speaker of the House lady, whatever, or the chief, whatever the fuck she was, saying, oh, how dare Trump tell people? Well, you can't identify who they are and they're talking about identification. That's a problem. She's talking about identifying as something. And he's saying, I don't see how she identifies as that. That she brought it up if he just said that, you're not black, and for no reason, that's one thing. Or is it black jobs? What the fuck are those?
For me, so I think Trump misspoke.
He said it like 38 times.
But so I think I don't know what makes somebody black. But I do know what makes somebody African American, right? Which is they migrated from Africa to the United States and are now American, correct?
Yes.
What continent is Jamaica on? It's North America. What continent is
I was
India?
gonna say, I actually don't know.
I had to Google it too to be sure. What continent is India on? Oh, that's Asia. And she was raised in Quebec, according to Z in the chat. She is not an African American. Like, Elon Musk is more of an African American than Kamala Harris is. But we've kind of mistaken the term. So if he had made that argument, like, I get what Trump's saying. I do think immigrants are taking black jobs. I think they're taking white jobs. I think they're taking LGBTQ plus jobs. I think that's the point Trump was trying to make. It's not just everybody here is, they came to take her jobs. Like, it's not just that. It's your community as well. I'm doing this for all of us. Like, we all need to come together and unify, which is a tough message for the guy who's been the maverick the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for him to get the unify message. So I think he misspoke there. I'm not going to make him the piece of shit for that. I get what he was trying to say. For me, the piece of shit would probably be, I don't know, Kamala Harris for saying she's black. Like, she's the biggest back the blue person I know. She enslaves a bunch of black people in her prison system. Like, you haven't done anything for the culture. You don't get to then lean into the culture just because it's convenient to you. Part of what it is giving back. That's part of why you're at open mics. You won't admit it. You may not even know it consciously, but part of the reason why you go is because when you were first starting out, there was someone there who kind of showed you that there was a next step, right? If the only thing you ever see in comedy, so for me, I'm going to say Kamala Harris is the piece of shit.
I don't want to go with you on that. Because it does feel like it's not just because of this statement. It's just her whole. I know a lot of politicians do it, but man, does she stick out every time? She just jumps on a thing. Like I want to know the context of why she was pushing Indian though. Was it because she needed that, and in the area she was at that time, whatever she was running for or doing, where she needed to be Indian? It just feels like she's whatever is needed at that time, which is fine in like sports. Like when I was growing up, there was a guy named Jose Akendo who played for the Cardinals, and he was like the first real like utility player, they called him that. On his baseball card actually said utility infielder, UI. But he literally, there was 1 year where he played every position. He actually pitched in a game, he caught in a game, he played every fucking position. He didn't play all three of the outfield, but he played the outfield. And it was like, yeah, it's great that he could do all these things. But when you're like, what are you? No one really knew. And he wasn't good at one thing and therefore never really stayed with teams. It was nice to have this thing that you could, but you could just get good players off your bench. And why would you invest in a guy that really can't do anything well? And that's what Kamala feels like. If she's going to become president, it's like, we don't know what you are. Like, as much as I knew what Biden was, I knew what Trump was. I go back to each president. I knew what Obama was. I mean, like, we really, you go all the way back, you knew what they were. You not that you would agree with it, but you knew what it wasn't phony. I know people say we didn't know what Obama was. You did. you fucking knew he was a standing senator. He was involved in politics for a long time. I don't know much about Kamala's background, and every time I hear something, it's like someone else coming out and going, yeah, she said she did this, but she was all about border patrol. But at the same time, she fucking said, all this other crazy shit. She said she was for this, but she was also for this at one point. She's saying this, but she also meant that. It's like, I think it's her. And as much as Trump is a guy who kind of waffles, he'll own his waffle. And they're like, you said that 4 years ago. Yeah, but then I changed my mind. Fuck you. You're gay. And it's like, okay, and that's not the way you want an answer, but at least he does that. He's dumb. They're both talking like idiots. It is wild to me that these two people are now. I thought Biden was crazy. At least Biden was. I would have rather had someone just be able to blame being senile than just two ignorant people.
Very much so. Did you ever play Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
So did you ever play where you just take one random thing from the pile and flip it in and see if it beats, like just the random card beats whatever you select? So it's a way you could play where if you don't know Cards Against Humanity, somebody gives a topic and you have to try to give the funniest response, but you could just throw a random one in. Then you keep scoring. Whoever gets to a certain number wins. But if the random wins, everybody does a shot if you're making it a drinking game. It feels like America's best option right now would be the random card. Like we just flip a coin with whatever major decision the president would have to make, yes or no. And that would be better. It would be more reliable than either of these two. I've been watching a lot of a guy named Turkey Tom on YouTube, and his whole thing is he just like he has his own views. It's not one party or another, and he doesn't talk politics or anything like that, but it's just like, oh yeah, he's not just parroting a message. That's so refreshing. And we both could go for that right now.
Yeah, I guess. Who's Turkey Tom?
He's just the YouTube channel I've been watching, but like he'll do one stream.
No, but like, why is he Turkey Tom?
His name's Tom. He's Tom Dark is one of his channels. Turkey Tom was his YouTube. He did like a faceless channel for a while, so it was just like a turkey in the corner.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
what's the Is he from Turkey, or does he like to eat turkey, or is he just like, does he have a thing on his neck, or goes?
No, he's just a chill dude. He breaks down a lot of the YouTube drama, but at one point he'll be like raging against Keffels, who's like a trans activist who hates everybody. And then the next moment he'll be streaming with Destiny, who's like a woke liberal debater who just trolls alt-right people in a debate.
That sounds like a book I would not read. Streaming with Destiny stinks.
Streaming on Destiny is what I want to do. Destiny's a dude, but most Destinies I know are chicks. I knew a girl in 4th grade. Did you ever have a teacher who went, what do you want to be called? Like when the first day of school? So like they'd be taking attendance and be like, say here and then what you want to be called. So if they were like Patrick Oates, you'd be like, call me Pat. Right?
I kind of just let them. I know what you mean. People do that. I kind of just let them do whatever. I think teachers would hear kids call me Pat, and then they would jump in. But every beginning of the year was Patrick.
Okay. Well, in 4th grade, we had a girl, and the teacher was like, say here and what you want to be called. And her name was like Morgan. And she thought the teacher meant like what you wish your name was. And so she just said Destiny. So for a whole year, a bunch of people just called her a stripper name.
That's nice. Did you say Bobby or did you go Robert?
I go Bobby. Robert's my slave name. My dad was
story?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my dad was Bertie because he was a big fan of Roberto Clemente, and they shortened Bertie down into Bertie. Let me present my screen real quick. This is an interesting one. I don't know. You said you haven't been following the Olympics at all.
No.
So there is a controversy brewing. Oh, I think I X'd out of the wrong article. No, I didn't. Here it is. Algerian boxer Imane Khalef's participation in the 2024 Paris Olympics, despite being disqualified in the 2023 World Championships over gender eligibility, concerns raised questions at the start of the Summer Games. The International Olympic Committee cleared Khalef to compete, but did not stop Olympic viewers from expressing outrage on social media Tuesday. A video of Khalef's fight against Mexico's Brianda Tamara Cruz Sandoval, bitch, you only get one name, in December 2022 raised the temperature. The video of the 66-kilogram fight in the World WBT Golden Belt series showed off Khalif's pummeling the Mexican fighter. Tamara told The Telegraph that she never felt the way she felt after the fight during her boxing career. When I fought her, I felt very out of my depth. Her blows hurt me a lot. Thank God that I got out of the ring safely, and it's good they finally realized. Khalif is set to square off against Italy's Angela Carini on Thursday, but the cloud of controversy hangs over the ring. Khalif was disqualified from last year's World Championship, sanctioned by the International Boxing Association, after a test found a high level of testosterone, according to Reuters. The boxer told Algerian TV that the decision was part of a big conspiracy. According to Khalif, was told that she had the characteristics that mean I can't box with women. The Algerian Olympic Committee said at the time Khalif was disqualified for medical reasons. Taiwan's Lin Yuting's bronze medal was stripped after failing to meet the eligibility criteria, which caused an uproar. Based on DNA tests, we identified a number of athletes who try to trick their colleagues into posing as women. According to the results of this test, it was proved that they have XY chromosomes, such as athletes from the competition. Previously, Khalif was able to compete. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Khalif? Like, you've been genetically tested to have a Y chromosome. It's time to change camps. Is it the woman who she beat up 2 years ago who's coming out now being like, this is pain like I've never felt before? You're a Latina woman. You've never been hit by a man. Bullshit.
Jesus, I had a feeling that was you're gonna go, but like I didn't think you would go there.
Is it? But no, same reason as Michaela Maroney from before. Like, it's not your time. If somebody reaches out to you, I guess it's hard to say no. But is it the Olympic Committee for letting this go on when it's clearly going to be taken away years from now? Like, that seems to be the case here. That's why that other part was in there about the girl from Japan. They went through and then tested all the people after Tokyo, and a bunch of them got stripped of medals for having too many male characteristics. Is it the community at large for all chiming in and being like, Jesus Christ, that woman hits hard. She must be a man. Thought this was 2024. We're all equal. Who's your piece of shit, Oates?
We are not fucking all equal. We've never been equal. There are attractive people, there are ugly people, there are fat people, there are skinny people. We are not equal. If we were all equal, then we wouldn't know about all those things I just said. Fuck that. But
small people, tall people.
No, fuck them. The piece of shit in this story is not the woman complaining that it still hurts 2 years later. It's the woman who punched a real woman a bunch and hurt them for 2 years. All right?
Way more than 2.
Stop being... If you're going to transition 5, don't transition to hurt people. This is the crazy part. I know they're saying it's athletics. No, you don't transition to benefit. You transition because it's supposed to be that you don't feel like you're the person on the inside. Not like, well, I can be better at shit if I do this. That's crazy. Because, like, okay, it's weird that I'm going to use this analogy. But I think most trans people think that it's going to be like the movie Soul Man. Where, like, if they... I know that guy was like, I'll put on blackface and I'll be able to get into school cheaper, but I'll be able to thrive better and then be fine. I think a lot of them think that if they do this thing, it's not about like them feeling better on the inside. It's like, well, life's not going well in this skin. So let me be this other thing and I can dominate. It's like, well, that's not who you are and you're not supposed to be dominating. You're not, transition all you fucking want, but don't transition and then beat up a woman so bad she's like, this still hurts. That's nuts. Yeah, it's the person that transitioned that punches people.
So there is some argument that perhaps this person didn't transition. They were born this way. Like, God just fucked up.
Who's arguing that? How was their mom and dad? And it was birth certificate. Show me that.
So that's the thing. A lot of these islands, they don't really keep good track of the record. And sometimes you get born with all three, you know?
You can't record if they had a dick or not when it started?
Well, okay. Without getting too much into it, there are certain genetic syndromes where, like, XX is female, right? XY is male. But that's like the two normal splits, male or female. You could, however, have XXY, which is a dude, but you would have a lot of feminine traits. And you might also have a micro penis that could be mistaken for a clit. And it may have been just something like that.
You might have a micro penis. It might be
No, I'm not XXY. Dog.
mistaken for a clit.
Now,
No, but the way you paused, and you're like, you might. I'm like, no, you.
No, I didn't mean you personally. It was a collective you. Now, the alternative to Klinefelter syndrome, we knew a guy in high school who had Klinefelter syndrome, and we would call him Klinefelters because he looked like he had it. He didn't actually have it, so it was very, very mean. But the opposite would be like Turner syndrome, which is XO, and it'd be like a very tall, gangly woman who looks half a trans. Bet who's my piece of shit in the story? Would be probably the person fighting. If there's this much controversy around you, just step away from it.
It's the person fighting. There's no probablys in this.
I am saying, so let's go into her mindset for a second. That your whole life you've been raised a woman, you don't have a dick, you pee out of your pussy, but you just have a bunch of real high test. I know there's a third hole, but you get the idea. It's the same idea.
No, it's just the way that you said it. Let's just say you were raised your whole life by the world's worst Italian-American man. And he's like, hey, now you pee out your pussy. You know, how about you shut your tits up for a fucking minute and stop being a fucking pussy pants, okay?
You're not a man. You just have a big clit. Do you pee out of it? No, okay. And then you're dedicated.
How come your stupid tits don't work?
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's bullied you, so you find the one thing in your life that lets you punch back. It's boxing. And oh, by the way,
go suck
you're the
dick
best
like
at
everyone else like in that problem.
Just saying, I could see it. So that would be my piece of shit. Probably her.
All right. I think we did it.
I think we did do it today, dude. This was a good one.
It's been a long one. It's like an hour and a half. I'm fucking tired and shit.
Just a song.
We will have a Thursday Thoughts tomorrow. Now, Bobby, we'll just talk about it on the air because why not? I could do it tonight, but I'm kind of like, maybe we could do it tonight. I'm free during the day tomorrow. Are you free during the day? Like,
yeah,
before, like more late morning, early afternoon. I have to be on radio at 2:30.
Yeah, let's. I think like 10, 11 would work perfect.
Yeah, so people that are watching, I'm not gonna say exactly that time, but people that are on the Patreon, a Thursday Thoughts will be here around 10-ish tomorrow on the Patreon. For those people that don't on the Patreon, we understand and we appreciate your support. And we'll be back on Friday with our show at 3:30. So join us then. But if you want to join the Patreon for $3 a month, you get the Thursday Thoughts show, which we take one story from the week and we uber focus on it and make more jokes about it. We had a lot of shit going on this week, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, in my head right now, it'd be very fun to think about other people Trump could call out for not being what they're supposed to be. Besides him going on, but there's a lot of things we can go with. So if you have a suggestion or idea, put in the comments here what you think you want us to focus on, make more jokes about. And we do a stream of consciousness thing and just have a lot of fun with it. For $3 a month, you go over there and have some fun. Join the Patreon POS podcast. Come to the show August 8th, 9th, and 10th, the big recording. I'm very excited. Bobby, you weren't on when I was saying this, but like there's one joke now that I finally found how I like it. I like it so much. My problem right now with my set is, and I haven't made the decision yet, I'm either opening with this joke or I'm closing with this joke. And I don't know where it's going yet. And I might be at the point where Thursday we might record it one way, and Friday record it the other way, and then Saturday go the way I like the best of those two. It'll be fun to have those different versions anyway. So come out to the shows, and I will be doing a little different stuff. And I'm going to do my natural crowd work and shit anyway. So come see Bobby. The way the show is going to run is Bobby's going to do about 15 minutes, and I'm going to be doing an hour. So you're going to see both of us do material. And come hang with us, please.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Anything else, Tiger?
No, if you can't, why am I Tiger? Is it because a woman wants to beat me?
You scrub your head, you go, you
no,
Tiger.
I didn't know if a woman wanted to beat me with a golf club because I cheated on her a bunch.
No,
on that
not
note,
the Tiger.
if you can't beat them, join them. No, if you can't join them, beat them. And don't be a piece of shit.
Don't eat blood.